Alright, let's get the stream started and get everything going. Send out some links and try and get some people to show up and hang out. And just have a pretty nice, comfortable start in. Starting if you guys got any questions you want to ask, anything to really kind of get at the base root of what's going on and what we're talking about today, go ahead. The first few minutes are just, like I said, it's just going to be like set up and getting ready. Just kind of sending out links and hopefully I get people to show up and come hang out. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on this week, and it wasn't just like it all kind of ran together, and I was really happy about that. Pretty stoked. 1 second, just let me post a couple links out. See who wants to come hang out and come chat, and anybody who might want to come and really give any insight towards the anything of what they have that came up, any questions they want to put out, or anything they just wonder what's going on. I like Black Clover especially and Fairy Tail especially. I think we're the biggest hype this week. What's up, JK Network? What's up, Legendy Vash? Is your name a reference to Vash from Trigun, or is it just a coincidence? I watched Trigun a long time ago, back probably before I can remember it. There's a couple anime that I watched that I know of them, but it's been so long I haven't. I remember nothing. Like I don't remember if it's pronounced Escriet or if it's Scried, but that's definitely a an anime I need to get back to. Oh yeah, what's up, Andres? I'm just getting ready for the stream. See who wants to come out and check out what's going on, and we can chat about stuff. Uh, Especially after a lot of the new manga came out a couple hours ago for Shonen Jump, and honestly, I think the best one out of those, well, other than Black Clover, because I obviously read that a couple days before, is Chainsaw Man. That chapter was like, it was so hype, while at the same time it was so well building up future events and some stuff for our other characters' backstory with Aki. If you're reading that, definitely if you haven't, like Chainsaw Man, hype as hell, and it's definitely I would put that up there, up not the same level as Fairy Tail and Black Clover were this week. Those two were crazy, and I'm so excited to see where those go on both story kind of progression for Black Clover, and then just character progression for Fairy Tail. And I don't know, some series I was not mad about, but I was kind of not too pleased at where they were going. Like One Piece right now continues to bother me a bit, and but not negatively is what I fear for the future. But definitely there's some positivity up ahead, and I'm hoping it goes in a good direction because prefer I would much prefer to be talking about things in a good light than complain about them. Like I said, I'd be much more. I'd be happier to be happy and like stuff than to be salty and just be like, what the hell is going on? Why do I have to talk about this every time? It's just never gonna stop. But I I think Fairy Tail and Black Clover were the biggest takeaways this week. Just those two twists at the end were both so interesting, and then the setup possibility they have is pretty thick. What have you guys really been liking lately? Like, what other series have you been following that you've been pretty stoked to get to? I was actually I was really sad because they just ended Nemesis, and it was the same as Marygrave, where it got really rushed, and I was not happy about the way that it kind of met its end. But it's out of my hand. I would really like to see more of that because I like that guy's style because he's able to balance comedy and action really well. Oh, what's up? Telling him how's it going? I was standing up now. I can come back and read the comments. I was getting something. Let's see. Do you think Wendy is also related to a drag god like us? No. Well, I don't think it would have the same effect as well because the thing about Natsu that I think is going to be really interesting pulling out of Ignia is the fact that Natsu's relationship and moments with Ignia were very good human moments for him. Like just the way you see his personality, and then just this quick break into him being like this very emotionally fragile guy, and the fact that he was really wanting to see Ignia again. I thought those were really good character moments for him. You wouldn't get the same thing with Wendy, but especially also with Ignia is we're gonna see him we're gonna see him treat him more like a brother than Zareth. I'm calling it now. Let me see. Let me see. I gotta scroll back up. You guys are commenting at a pretty good speed. Let's see. What's up, Mercenary? How's it going? Let's see. D for One Piece. The Will of D. Vash for Trigon, and the Legend because I want to be a legend before I die. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. The merging of the two. I didn't think of the D. I forget a lot of the time the D letter because I always try and think of it like with Roger, how it was Gold. His name was Gold D Roger. People call him Gold Roger, and I've always been really expecting, like, trying to figure out how something in a character's name in One Piece, like the D, can combine into a different word and maybe mean something. I don't know. It's always been something that I just have kind of thought of with One Piece, even though it's not really a thing. Let's see. Find out Wendy's sister. Well, no, Wendy's fine. Wendy's got still got pretty good character progression. She gets little chunks of development every now and then. And I think it'd be weird if they pulled out another relation to a dragon god. I think it'd be cooler to see like Wendy's plan for moving forward because we got everyone else. Like we know what they're doing. Urza's combining other things with her swords and Lucy's just trying to further progress like her star dress. Gray will probably have like a higher level of demon slang. I'd like to see if Wendy's learned anything to combine it. Yeah, the new villain. Oh, I don't think he's gonna be like the same level of Kaguya because I think he's gonna be more like, um, if you've read or watched Seven Deadly Sins, Frouden or however pronounce his name, how he was more of he was part of the big bad group of the demons, but he was still like a big deal to them as a demon as overall, but he was like a small fry in the Ten Commandments. So that's what I'm expecting with this new demon. Is he's like I'm guessing he's going to be relatively high ranked within the demons, but he's not going to be even close to the top. That's my guess. He's going to be like a more of a messenger. Wendy can enchant the power out of water dragon and replace it with a random object. Wendy, she's got a lot of potential. We'll see exactly where she goes. I would like to see what I would like to see with Wendy is her combined like because you learned from Sharia's her like guild panel where it just kind of talks about her. She learned her god slang from a book, so she should have. But you could easily have the book come out and then give it to Wendy, and then Wendy could learn it and then combine dragon slang with god slang, and then become like a hybrid of the two, where she could be dragon god slang, even though not the same thing, but just the merging of the two attributes, which I think would be really cool. And it would be a nice callback to her, her relationship, her friendship with Sharia. Let me see. All right, I'm scrolling. Agreed with Jay. Fairy Tail Black Clover were best this week. Eden Zero doing well. Yeah, I was really happy. Like Eden Zero though, the last chapter, it wasn't bad. It wasn't it wasn't as hype as a lot of the chapters have been, but it was definitely good. But it can't. I don't think this next chapter, Eden Zero, I don't think it's gonna come close to the latest Fairy Tail chapter. Like that was such a big reveal, and it also opened up so many ways for character progression and like really cool interactions with Natsu. If I could, really quick, just chill quietly. If you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the stream, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. But let me get back to some of the comments. Been watching some. Oh wait, I almost skipped one. It's the beginning of Rise of the Demons. Yeah, I've said I think that this is gonna be the end of part one for Black Clover. Like this is gonna be the first saga. Like everything leading up this, and then there'll be like a small time skip. That's my theory, and then maybe it's the demons are gonna run wild, like, and then maybe that'll be like because the elves and the humans are gonna have to team up. Maybe that'll eventually lead into them having to, liberate the other kingdoms and try and get on their side and try and like get everyone under one banner in order to drive back the demons. But there's also other countries because there's a data book, and Tabata made it known that the four kingdoms, the heart, the clover, spade, and the diamond, are one continent, and we know about the land of the sun. So there's definitely more out there we just haven't seen yet. The war arc and Radiant's over. I get back to the anime. I just I got so sidetracked from the anime because they kept changing stuff, and at first I was like, all right, that's fine, they can change stuff, and then it started to just kind of like instead of just alter stuff, it just became like a huge like line of filler, and I'll get back to it. I was a little bit annoyed by that just because it's every week when I'm hyped up that they're hoping to get to that arc that it's just pulled away into some other random thing. Been watching some Blue Exorcist, plus need to watch some of the manga and anime for upcoming release. Yeah, I just started getting back into Blue Exorcist this week. I've only watched the anime, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading the manga. I really like the art style. I've always really liked the art style. I just never got around to it, but it's part of the Shonen Jump service app. So you get all those nice HD chapters, and they're frequently released as the same time in Japan. So that's a good incentive for me to get back to it. I can just pull out my phone while I'm sitting doing nothing and read a chapter or two. I'm looking forward to seeing Homura confronting Jamila. I'm wondering if maybe they're working under the same guy because I'm not sure if it's gonna be that Homura is working for Elsie, and then maybe Homura and Jesse are working for a different member of the the Horacion Stays Galactica, and that could be a really good drop of showing at least another one, maybe not being the focus, but just knowing that they exist. Kind of like when it was revealed at the end of the Tower of Heaven that Ultir was actually the one that caused everything with Jalal, and she was just puppeting him along, so the council wouldn't, they'd put their attention there and not paying as much attention to what Grimoire Heart is doing. It's something like that where you see more of just the Horacion States Galactica, scheming against their other people who hold that title. Yeah, Jesse is her brother. It was a really interesting thing because he was the last guy on the character poster for Eden Zero when everything was kind of being newly put out and advertised when Hero Machine was just starting to get out Eden Zero information. Jesse was the only one left until recently that didn't have a name, but you just saw him kind of like standing around in Elsie's crew. Do you believe Wendy is strong like Irene says, or do you think Wendy is definitely strong? Like Wendy is extremely powerful. She has probably the most potential out of any of them. I mean, obviously Natsu is the main character, so he's gonna probably end the strongest by whenever Fairy Tail reaches its actual climactic end. But Wendy is like at what like 15, she was able to go in and out of True Dragon Force. She didn't need a Lacrima cheat. She was able to take attacks from Spriggan level people, and her enchanting was at least not equal to Irene's, but it was at least enough that she could contend with her to a degree, and that was really impressive. And obviously, Irene just directly says, Wendy's potential, like she was able to fully put out that fact, and I thought that was a nice hype moment for him. Let's see, Seven Sins ain't being talked much as well. It's crazy. I haven't liked what's going on recently. It's it's been really inconsistent with some of the stuff, and some of the power levels. It just feels like a lot of the things are just being overwritten every 10 minutes, and a lot of the characters I was actually really hyped for, like seeing more of Chandler. Because one thing I was actually really stoked is that part where Merlin, or not Merlin, Arthur is fighting. Was it Meliodas, Zeldris, Cusack, and Chandler? And it turns out they weren't being serious, and they were just kind of wanting to measure how strong he was. And then they kind of flex their power, and he sees what their Enduriforms look like, but you never see any of them. And you might be able to. There's still a chance of seeing like Zeldris and Meliodas's, but and there's no way we're gonna see Cusack or Chandler's Enduriform. And I really liked Chandler's one from the silhouette where it looked like this big whale-like creature with like these spikes and like creepy teeth. I thought his was really cool, and then Cusack's was really interesting as well, but we'll never see him. I guess S'more's past is somehow tied to Drac and possibly helped did something to Valkyrie. Yeah, I think that they're going to be either working for Drac and Joe or one of the other members of the Horacion says Galactica, and maybe they caught wind of Shiki and they just wanted to get information on him and see what he's like, see what he's capable of, and see what exactly he's planning, just out of a precaution. I mean, maybe even Valkyrie is one of the Horacion says Galactica. Maybe after Ziggy left, she just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna keep being a space pirate." Do you think Enya is just like the first gen Dragon Slayers, but actually becoming a dragon is the reason that he's Igneal's son? I think he's actually Igneal's son, and I think that's where a lot of the interesting aspects come out of it because of where he could have resentment for Natsu, because and as well as Igneal, because you have assuming that Igneal knew about him. Let's just go under the assumption that Igneal knew about him, is that he had you have this character who grew up without a father. His father's dead, and the reason that is because he put all his faith in the Dragon Slayer plan. He went through the Eclipse store and completely just got rid of the idea of the dragons defeating Acnologia, and just kind of like having that knowledge on Igneous mind of I was able to achieve it. My dad didn't believe in me. He didn't believe in any of us, and he believed in these humans who now he's dead because of it, really. And there's a really interesting aspect to him that he could have, as well as how Natsu could grow further as a character from this kind of idea for Ignia, and I'm really stoked to see where this goes. I mean, I get into a lot of arguments with people who try to act like Natsu doesn't have any character development and there's nothing to him. But then you even see even recently, not even like having to like sift through the series, that even recently he was having a lot of moral decisions about killing Mercifovia because he knew he was trying to become a better person. He acknowledged like his crimes and his sins and all the people he's killed, and he doesn't know if he can ever do enough good to really get rid of that on his conscience, but he's gonna try. And Natsu just being like, well, I gotta kill him now. Like he doesn't know whether or not he should do that, and that's exactly where I think his a really good moral aspect of him, especially after his fight with Acnologia, where he talked about how dragons are the same as humans, and that there's good ones and there's bad ones. Just you can't say, well, some human is bad, so we have to kill all of them, and that's how Natsu sees the dragons. And it was really good for his character with this whole information on Mercifovia. Which elements will the other three dragon gods have? And Bro Black Clover right now is pure gold. Yes. So I'm expecting four of them because I feel like some of them are just going to be like normal elemental ones. It's the one in the middle. So the one in the middle is the one I'm really interested in, just based off because when you look at them, there was Mercifovia. It was from right to left to right. There was a fluffy one. There was Mercifovia, who turned out to be Ignia. Some weird long-necked one, and then one in the middle flying that has a halo. I knew the one in the middle front was going to be a fire dragon by the way that its horns were. I just thought that made sense, but given that silhouette's design, that they had an idea for a fire dragon. But the one in the middle flying, its wings are weird. It doesn't look like it would have a normal set of wings for flying, so it would have some weird aspect to it, some weird attribute. And the fact that it has a halo, like I I have nothing to really go off of, but I'm hoping that one is a weird element like chaos, where it's like a light and dark dragon or something really interesting. Like you can have the other four be just general elements, and then have that one being like kind of like how Sting and Rogue with the white shadow dragon, having something in between light and darkness, and that's why it has like this kind of weird horned like hook design, but as a halo. I don't know. I That one is the one that I've always had the most interest in seeing what they're like. Because with overall my theory of how I think it's gonna go is the dragon gods are all gonna be they're all gonna have very understandable attributes, and it's gonna be the dragon eaters that are gonna have weird attributes, armor, blade, bone, and those guys are all going to be weird. We're going to get a lot of very strange Dragon Slayer types with the Dragon Eaters, but with the Dragon Gods, I think they're going to be very, very generally understandable. Where it's going to be more of them just being sheer powerful instead of having some, weird trait to their abilities. Black Clover, yeah, Black Clover right now is insane. Like it's legitimately it's one of the best arcs in recent shonen. Like it's got great action. Almost every single character has gotten a spotlight or has gotten character development. They've brought in new characters. They've had lore, and they've done like Tabata's got like everything. They have twists and turns with the story. Black Clover right now has been fire, and it's been so awesome to reading, and I've noticed a lot of opinions of Black Clover really been shifting throughout this arc for the manga, for the people reading the manga at least. Like a lot of people are just like, I don't know, I just kind of read it. But this arc though has been really gaining some steam and getting people really on board. Let's see. Well, Demon is definitely not going to be defeated this arc. He's probably going to run through Aston. I think he's going to win. So if you've read Jujutsu Kaisen, or I guess Bleach as well, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a moment where the creature inside Asta's Grimoire, the demon, comes out and addresses this other demon, and he defeats him, but it's not like he kills him. He kind of just pushes him back and maybe has to retreat, and it's going to be kind of like a dual hype moment for the two of them. I don't think Asta and Yuna are going to defeat him. I think something is going to happen where he's just kind of going to be like, I really don't care enough to kill you guys. I'd rather, bring the rest of the demons to the Shadow Palace. Again, really quick, I really appreciate anyone who hasn't yet if they could thumbs up the stream. Maybe see any of your friends, invite them over if they want to come chit chat and talk. I like to keep very active with the stream. I like to read your guys' comments, and so it really does feel like a conversation instead of just me talking. Because if it was just me talking, you guys would just watch the review videos. The streams are more about community discussion of how this is going. Anyway, I know it's off topic, but Rax, do the new Chainsaw Man chapter. The Gun Devil. Oh my god, dude, that was one of the most interesting character buildups I've seen in so long. Because it was like, so if you read Western comics, a lot of Western comics right now are using modern day political stuff, but they're fumbling over it so bad. Like instead of just kind of taking the theme and working it in a way, it's more of like it feels like a PSA. But with Chainsaw Man, like the dude was able to take the idea of gun violence and that problem, and then with it the devil's work in it, construct it so that the fear of gun violence and like the constructed idea the media puts out created this gun devil who in under 5 minutes went to multiple different areas in the world and killed over 1 million people. And this is a series like we've only seen a handful of the devils, and like the Bat Devil, like his biggest attack like broke up part of a big building, and then it's like the Gun Devil like tore apart cities in under 5 minutes on different locations on the planet. Like that shit was wild, and I was like, it was such a nice build moment for a big villain that he's not just gonna be, hey, we get there, we fight him, and it's over. He's gonna be a big deal, and it's gonna be who they're working towards. It feels like kind of like in early days of Fairy Tail where Zeref, like the first time that Zeref was mentioned, when Aragorn and all of them were getting off the train, and they mentioned that the lullaby was part of Zeref's magic, and just that first mention, and that's what it kind of feels like with the Gun Devil, but to a higher degree, where it was just like this intense lore version of explaining why this guy is a threat. He's not just some random demon. He's not just some run-of-the-mill devil. He's like a huge hype piece, and he's like a big worldly boss amongst the devils. So I'm guessing, I don't think he's gonna be final villain, but I think he's gonna be the first like big bad, kind of like in Bleach it was Aizen, or maybe Fairy Tail it was like Jalal, where Jalal was like the first huge threat really that Natsu thought, and that the Gun Devil is gonna be like that for Denji maybe. Let's see. I think they work for the police with justice. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really interesting. I'm still really interested in Justice just to see how exactly his ether gear is going to work. As long as there's a Grand Chariot named attack, I'll be happy. But I'm hoping it's kind of like Wall's ability. Because one of the things Hiroshima I think does really well is he'll take, you saw it a lot in Fairy Tail, is he'll take stuff from Rave Master that wasn't really utilized, such as Crash Cookie's Crash ability, and put it on a character like Gildarts. And Wall had my favorite design of all the Spriggan 12, and I think his fighting style was the most interesting, where he was constantly swapping out all these weapons based off, just the situation. He felt more like a gun version of Urza than Biska was with her gunner magic. She literally did the same thing but with guns. She didn't do shit. And that's what I feel like Wall kind of was in a way. And I'm hoping that's what Justice is. I'm hoping he's got like all these cool space weapon, like heavy arsenal, not like guns, like Wise and Rebecca. I want it to be like artillery, like he's got like a cannon, or like he summons a ship and it will just like appear and like assault like a field, like do like a laser carpet bombing or something really cool. Justice, like I'm definitely, because there's not a lot to Justice, so I can't really hype on his character just because he's cool. I'm more hyped on what exactly his powers are going to be like, just because who he's relating to from that line of Jalal, Sieghart, and Magic Illusion. Because a lot of people don't know that the eye tattoo wasn't originally Sieghart, is that was on the main character of Hiromishima's first one-shot Magician, and that's why it kind of holds like this very significant value, I think, to him. It's just that's an aspect that carried over from his one-shot to his first series, and then to his and to Fairy Tail, and now into Eden Zero. You think Jesse will be stronger than Homura and Shiki? Yeah. I think he's gonna be much more like he's the secret boss of Elsie's crew, and Elsie doesn't even know how strong he is. But that's gonna be completely. It's gonna depend on who he's working for. I think it's gonna depend on what we actually find out about him, and where his position in that group really stands. What is your favorite Black Clover opening? Yeah, three. Three is definitely the best one. Six has really grown on me. I really love during it. I think it's like 30 or something seconds when they have that like guitar piece. I love that part. But three is definitely the best one. Weiss versus Samora. I'm fairly certain this is going to happen since they seem to like the scheme behind Shiki's back. Shiki will probably be pissed when he finds out. I don't know. Shiki or not Shiki. Weiss and Homura I feel like are going to be kind of like Juvia and Gray, or Musica. Well, Musica didn't really get much for romance after she died, but that's all right. I don't know. Their relationship I am interested in. Homura is a very interesting character, even though we haven't got a ton about her. Wendy will be the Urza Scarlet Dragon Slayers next generation, multiple dragon forms or modes for every occasion. I want to see Wendy do stuff. She's got a lot of variety with her enchants. I like that about Wendy. It's gonna be crazy to find out the Water Dragon God was only using. It was, yeah, like he's. I like that part of it too, where it was just like, yeah, you guys were doing something where it's like, no, he wasn't trying for shit. Like Mercbovia was just like, kind of just testing him. He just looked like he was trying to flex on him to get him to stop. But I think it was really a little bit notable that the body of like when Merc lifted up the sea, is he wasn't trying to attack to get ready to attack Natsu and crew. I think he was doing that against Ignia, and that's why Ignia was in there, is because he actually got caught in the attack, but just kind of went through it. Let me see. Wendy's having the most potential among dragons, but she wasn't internally trained for 7 years. I think she would even be on. Yeah, she would. Wendy's a big deal. Wendy's hype as hell. I really like her. She's very interesting and how much potential she really has. I think a lot of people overlook Wendy because she's a loli, and it's really weird because I've seen like people trying to be like, "What? How is this loli gonna beat everybody?" I'm like, this is a loli that helped fight Acnologia, was able to stalemate some of Irene's spells, was able to fight Demaria. Like she's not weak, like by any sense. Just because she's a loli doesn't mean she's weak. That's stupid. Igna left for 400 years. He's a bigger deadbeat dad than. Oh no. The thing is, Goku could have talked to them. Like Goku went through King Kai, could have talked to Gohan and Goten at any point, and he didn't. He was just training, and he doesn't seem to actually have a lot of care. We don't even know if Ignil actually knew about Ignia. He might be a bastard or something. something to look forward to being a reveal, but definitely not a deadbeat like Goku. Natsu had more character development in the spin-off series, the main series. That's hard because Natsu does have a lot of well, he's got a fair amount of character development in the main series, but a lot of it is very spread out and in certain points, like when you first see it against when he first finds out from Guild Arts that he saw a dragon, to a little bit in Edalus where you find out Natsu doesn't care about a lot of the world at large. He only really cares about like guild and guild adjacent, which has changed a bit since then. He's come to be a lot more of a generally caring guy and kind of sees things a little bit outside of the guild. Obviously, he still has that mindset heavily on him, but it's not as tightly put on him. But he has had a lot of good character development in this in this arc in the 100 Years quest, and I like that about it. It's very apparent. Like some of the people that act like he doesn't have like anything to his character, it's like, well, you're full of shit. You probably get your Watch Mojo knowledge out of here. Yes, it's goofy with some people, and they'll be like, well, Natsu's got nothing really going on for him. It's like, that's not really the case. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best character ever, but he definitely has character development. Don't be goofy. Let's see. I think that it's assumed that Elsie is in league above Shiki. Oh no, because Elsie is like a hugely wanted person by them. Oh my god, they have a really long name of their space fleet, but the government people, and she has obviously like a large fleet of ships. She's definitely a big deal, like that's for sure. She's not weak. I think she's probably around the Horacio Sace Galactica level. I think she's definitely within that ballpark. And I don't think there's any way that that Shiki is able to contend with her right now. Do I watch Magi? I read Magi. I need to finish Magi eventually. I read Magi, but up to that long flashback arc, I was really liking it until then. I had that really long flashback arc, and then like it went from like desert sands, like era, like Aladdin, like literally like that Arabia design to like the Jetsons, and I was like, why? I'll get back to it eventually. I just kind of got turned away by that really weird direction change. That it didn't feel like the same story at that point. It was really weird. I believe one will be a fairy. I don't know. A fairy dragon would be very strange, but I would, if as long as it made sense, I'd be casing it. I have chaos powers. I'd like to see a chaos dragon, like for real. Chaos dragon would be really cool. Oh wait, I almost thought I was able to scroll the way down. Almost. Let's see. Fairy Tale version of Groudon, Fairy Tale version of Kyogre, Rayquaza. A Rayquaza version, maybe that could be like if they have a Sky Dragon, they could do more of it. Well, we already have a long, like, more serpentine-like dragon, so it would have to be Rayquaza by Sky powers and not as much by design, I think. Maybe it could be green though. How many chapters do you think Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest will be? I don't know, because I didn't think it was going to be very long at the start, but we're already 20 chapters in, and we have so much left. Like, they're obviously not close enough to being on level with the Dragon Gun. Natsu's going to get a power-up to get a taste of that level, and then probably, I don't think he'll kill Mirthphobia, I think he'll just take him down and defeat him. We still have the Dragon Eaters, we have Librieras, we potentially, like, we could get Ankh-Saram, which I really hope we do, because obviously he's canonically should be the biggest character, like the biggest, most powerful villain in Fairy Tail. Like he's already existent, and him like being above all of these characters would make sense, just because obviously he's an actual god. He's a god of life and death in their world. I think the reason Ignia didn't help Igneo fight Ankh-Logi is because he thought Ankh-Logi was beneath him. Oh, I think that at the time of, because it was over 400 years ago, I think at the time of he wasn't very powerful, and he probably used the 400 years to get stronger in secret, because we don't know how far Ethnologia's dragon censoring ability, like we don't know his length of like how well he can smell. We just know that he can do it from like at least Fiore size. I mean, Fiore's huge, but in their world it's tiny in comparison to the other countries. And we know that you can hide your dragon smell because Irene was doing it. Never lost faith. Yeah, don't lose faith. Ian's our question: do you think Happy should have alternate battle forms, like become battle armor for Becker, having an enlarged fighting form? Yeah, that would be cool. I thought more of different guns, different kind of like or aspects on it, like if she was Samus, but instead it was like different parts, like guns. You got a helmet so you can breathe in space, or maybe like a jetpack for movement. Maybe like some anti-gravity boots or something to walk up walls. Definitely, that was a really interesting thing because I only was really thinking more like guns and Lucy, who is very variety based. I think it would be really cool to see that kind of put on her as well. Have that kind of like your thing is utility and variety, and how you apply that to whatever's going on. That could keep Rebecca being very relevant. I think that's good. Asta versus that demon. Yeah, well, it's gonna be Asta and and I'm looking forward to that. That part where the last time Asta and Yuna teamed up, where each of them, like Asta was in his anti magic form and Yuna was in his spirit dive, I think it's one of the best panels in the series, if not the best panel. Like that's such a cool moment. Like I can't wait. If they when they get to that scene in the anime, I would be perfectly fine with every other scene in that episode being like shittily done, as long as that scene is amazingly animated, because it's just such a good scene of them just popping their forms while standing next to each other, and you take that half and then you just slide them together, and you have a full version of this half demon energy and this half spirit energy. I thought was really sick. The demon seemed to smile when asked to shut up. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just a personality, or that if he noticed the grimoire, because he obviously knows about the 5-leaf grimoire, and there has to be something relevant to that demon. What I'm kind of wondering is, what would be really cool is if that demon was similar to Asta, where he's like the reject of demons. They don't like him, and then you have like these two underdogs and scoundrels like on their same team. Or if he is a hype kind of character, like he's a big deal, maybe a traitor to their kind. I don't know. I'm hoping in the next chapter that he at least mentions the name of the creature in the grimoire. That I'm really hoping, or maybe the creature like it takes over Asta and they have a conversation, even if it's just like all dialogue. I'll take it. Will your choice in starter Pokemon change once you see the other evolutions? Nope. I'm going Score Bunny. I've picked Fire every single Pokemon generation except for one playthrough in Pokemon Silver where I picked Totodile. That's the only time I've ever not picked a Fire starter, and it wasn't even my first playthrough of it. Let's see. Most likely should be. Yeah, no, we're fighting. Yeah, it should be firefighting. What's up, Major? How's it going? I've been wondering if I was going to see any nice bird people here. Have you noticed that Tabata has introduced characters that seem like they'll only be a gag character, but later on get a spotlight waiting for Leopold and Sol? Well, Leopold and Sol, I don't think they're gag characters. I think they just haven't really had their moment yet. I'm thinking more of Seki, because Seki, I actually like Seki. I mean, he's kind of a douche, but I think he's learned his lesson at this point, and he's gotten better, and he's got a pretty good magic. The fact that he's got his bronze cannonball, where he can both attack and defend at the same time, and then his cool. The thing is, that motorcycle kind of thing he has, if it didn't have a mold of him on it, it would actually be really cool. I think White should be merged with his avatar body. Maybe it gives him an upgrade and serves as an ironic punishment. No, don't turn him into like a weird trap. You're gonna ruin. He's a ladies' man. He's like that's one of the differences between Musica and Gray is Musica was more of like this punk, and Gray was just like this real cool, like very slick dude, and Wise is more like he's like this genius kind of scummy criminal, and he's different because of the fact he's kind of scummy. I don't want him to get anything like that right now. Because I like the fact that he doesn't fit with a lot of the he doesn't fit with the idea of a lot of Hiromishima's main characters, and I like that about him. Been thinking to read this Chainsaw Man, and dude, you need to get on a Chainsaw Man. I've so if you talk to some of the other manga and anime YouTubers I've been talking to recently, like SG Sammy and Senpai is Home, they've been doing more of like the stuff with the Vic Mignogna case, and like I like to do dramas sometimes, but I'm much more interested in talking about manga and the stories and how how you guys are thinking about it. But I've been trying to get them on Chainsaw Man, and like, cause like every single person that I've talked to that's read Chainsaw Man has liked it because it's fun, it's understandable, it doesn't try and baby you with what's going on. At the same time, it tries to keep you engaged and offers a lot of really cool characters. Definitely pick up Chainsaw Man, Vash, dude. That's a good read right there. And it's only 13 chapters in, and the last chapter was so hype. It was such a hype chapter, and I'm very excited to see. Even if we're not gonna see the Gun Devil fight for a long time. They're not gonna fight for a long time, just because like I said, power level wise, like there's no way that any of them are contend with them right now. But I would like to see a panel where he's just standing there so we can see what he looks like, even if it's not like whatever his probably. I'm guessing because he's so powerful, he'll have a humanoid looking form, and then he'll have his normal one. You just imagine if he looks like Barrel Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh. He got this like dude with a revolver for a head, and these sick teeth. Maybe he'll have something like different personalities, one for each spot in the chamber. That'll be pretty sick. Or not the chamber. What is that piece on a revolver where or you load the six in and then you spin it? Well, you don't have to spin it. It spins. But you know what I mean. Just I'm so stoked to see that guy because it's just such a cool concept. It's so interesting to think about after seeing some of them, and then you have the cool monster ones, but then you have ones like Denji, the chainsaw devil, he's literally just got chainsaws coming out of his arms and out of his forehead, and seeing what the gun version of that is going to be. I'm kind of hoping there'll be a way to make him into a good guy. And I don't mean like converting him over. There's no way. Maybe somebody ends up merging with him, kind of like how and become like maybe Aki can end up in somehow doing that, and then he's gonna have that inner burden of being merged with this guy who is a world disaster, this calamity who killed his family. And that would be kind of cool to see how it would go. And it's believable with this author because he's like super dark, and he's very serious, especially if you've read Fire Punch. Well, technically, Licht was the first big villain, like Orochimaru Karako. Oh yeah, but it was Patri, and then Licht. It doesn't really seem much more like a villain. He seems more like he's there, but we don't know what exactly his plans are because he hasn't really been talking and he's been really quiet. And Patri's cool, but this guy just seems much more like a big reveal as the real villain, like Aizen. Are you planning on doing any verse battles in the future? I don't know about videos. Like I said, I'm thinking rather of just doing them in streams. I think streams would do better because that way, I think it would do better live and just kind of like getting people's responses and arguments in real time versus me doing a video. And plus, like I said, it's a little bit harder now because I work most of the week, and then on the weekends, I want to get some like I want to do like a lot of the chapter reviews because Shonen Jump stuff comes out on Sundays, and I like to do these streams. I'm thinking more of doing it on streams and maybe doing it some other time during the week or combining it with this stream. We would tease other species before this current are black clovers. I think maybe I would like not to get a very large drop of like just a bunch of names. I would like to see like maybe like a statement of the world used to be have lots of magical species, and then you see like a panel where it shows a bunch of different people, nothing specific, but where you can look at it and be like, oh, this I think this is a tree ant. I think this guy is a harpy, or stuff that where you're really kind of just looking at it in a large spectrum versus just one or two that are just named specifically. Um, we already have it with doors. Yeah, doors are Steve's. So what's up? What's up, SG Sam? Yeah, I'll give you mod. How do I do that? Add modder. There you go. There. Have a wrench. Have your wrench. Wendy needs an overnight growth spurt. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna keep Wendy as a loli forever. I think Wendy's always gonna be a loli. Oh my god, I lost my spot. Hold on. Luckily I just read. Okay, luckily I just read Sammy, so I knew where it was. Most recent Chainsaw Man was insane. Hell yeah, it was. Like I said, that was an intense chapter. Super stoked for further Chainsaw Man. I'm wondering if this guy's gonna have his own crew, like he's gonna have his own demons or devils that work for him, or if he's just gonna be like maybe he's gonna have a cult following because the fact that his bullet shells can if you eat them as a devil you'll become more powerful. I think that'd be really cool to do something like that. I wonder if Justice is a nicer version of Seek Heart. Seek wasn't evil and wanted to protect the world from Ellie's power, but was ruthless. Well, Justice seems much more like he's gonna be like an old fashioned like police guy, like James. Like just like I kind of I'm expecting him to be kind of like James Gordon, but in space. Has anyone been watching Super Dragon Ball Heroes? I'm like 2 episodes behind, but they're each like 8 minutes, so I could catch up to them pretty quick. Shiki versus Elsie, hyped. Yep, that's gonna be cool. I'm curious to know what her ether gear is gonna actually be. Her actual ether gear. What if Ignia wasn't Ignil's son, but rather his brother? And just like, oh, that'd be confusing of why he would say his son though. Well, like my original theory is that the Fire Dragon God was gonna be like maybe Ignil's father, and maybe it was gonna be Natsu's grandson. But the fact that he's Ignil's son, I think is more interesting. Just because they're gonna have that brotherly, step brothers, but with dragon slayers. Yami versus All Might versus Sinbad from Magi Huin. Well, didn't Sinbad become God? It depends on the Sinbad. Yami would kill All Might for sure, but I think Sinbad became a god at the end or something. Like he went to like a cosmic plane and then like became the stand-in for God. I haven't read it, but that's just what someone told me. I think you'll have before wait for Dragon Years Utopia. I think definitely it's gonna be after this battle. I think we're gonna see them at their headquarters meet up and talk to other Dragon Eaters before they mess with um Natsu and everyone. I just saw Sammy's like, how far is he from the chat? I'm pretty far. This is one of the probably the most frequently posted chats I've had. It's like it's very very plentiful, and I appreciate everyone for it. I really appreciate everyone for who's shown up. I appreciate everyone who's liked the video. I appreciate everyone who's subscribing, and I appreciate everyone for commenting. Like it's very cool. Yeah, I don't see how anyone can be effective besides Natsu a little bit. Oh, a lot of so I have a theory. Let me pull up a picture right now. I have a quick theory that I want to put on you guys. I did a video on it, but I think it would be I think just touching on it really quick, not really going too deep into it, but enough that just kind of like make you go would be very interesting. So let me see. Theories. Where is it? It's with Gray. If I can't find it, I know where the chapter is, and I'll just poke at it, and then here it is. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick. Pull it right over the picture. Okay. So if you look on this one, I don't remember what chapter exactly. I mean, there's only 20 chapters, so it'd be easy to find it, and it's a cover picture. It's the creature on the back of Gray's shirt looks similar to Gray's demon slaying tattoo. If you look at the horns and that third eye, as well as that mark under its chin, um, it definitely has a similar kind of level to it. And I'm wondering if that's maybe a foreshadow of Gray, maybe like having his own like version of like half like how he has half not to had the half dragon the Dragon Cry movie that Gray maybe has a further progression of demon slaying and then becomes a little partial demon or something something like that. That's just a theory. I'm wondering if that's is in fact at all a Easter egg. If it was just a demon in general, I wouldn't really go by it, but the fact that it looks similar to Gray's actually, literally, the one of the pictures I still had pulled up. Let me pull it over here. I had it set up. I don't know why I still had it over here, but I still have it right here. His demon slaying tattoo is, if I could remember to pull this over, just like if you just look at it, the way that the horns are shaped, and like I said, this eye right there in the middle. I don't know, and kind of a little bit near the horns where there's those second marks like that look kind of like the wings. It's a little bit of a little bit much of a fan theory, but at the same time, it is 100% a fan theory. And I think it'd be really cool to see Gray go down that path, but it's something we can kind of peer towards in the future. And then Lucy, if she ever gets like the Celestial Spirit Queen dress, Urza developing more weapons. Urza's definitely like maybe she could have a sword made out of dragon parts. And then Wendy in general is just has a ton of potential. I'm not gonna try and I'm not gonna argue with anyone that Wendy isn't can't keep up. Like, come on. I just started Black Clover today. It's so much better than Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, hang on, Hugh Jazz. Don't talk shit about Yu-Gi-Oh. But Black Clover is awesome. Anyone watch Wakfu? Yeah, I really like Wakfu. I'm waiting for the fourth season. The third one left off really weird. Like season 3 of Wakfu, I like that it was only half as long as seasons 1 and 2, but they didn't have any of that like slice of life episodes. Like it was straight to the point because it was a lot more serious of an arc overall. But it had such a weird end off that I'm very interested in seeing where it goes. Let me see. You think August should have lived and become the king of Alvarez instead of Agile? I no. Oh, I would have liked it better if I would have liked it better if Invo became the boss because he had like that very strong dedication to Zareth. I mean, Agile, I thought it was cool that he got to. It turns out, you got a little bit of character background from him at the same time, which is good. August would have been cool, but I don't know what he would even be like after after his literal reason for doing everything in existence dies. Like how would he hold up emotionally? I think he would fall apart. I modded you, Sammy. Quit yelling at me. Gun Devil has been hyped in one of the best demonstrations I've seen in years. Also in Aki Central, legitimately that the Gun Devil hype is one of the best villain. Like just bringing up a villain, not even like hey, let me do a whole chapter where I just show stuff. It's just a moment of this is what makes the guy a threat, and this is enough. Like that was pretty intense. I really liked it. Pooh kind of like Weiss more than Avatar mod. I don't know. I don't really like the idea of swapping them out. I like Wise's design. I think he looks cool. I think the oral agreement. Sally joined the Black Bulls. Yep, agreed. Sally needs to join the Black Bulls. I'm catching up, Sammy. People are commenting like a ton. Let me kind of read faster. Dude, that's slow. The chat slow. Sally waifu over girls. I can't remember the name. Oh yeah, poor My Hero Academia girls. Uh, you read Radiant finally? Yeah, I read Radiant. I need to catch up with it though. Let's see, retracted comment. Join the Discord server. Yeah, Ultimate Blue Eyes White Dragon versus Ravine's Time Acto. Oh, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon would win because Blue Eyes itself is equal to an Egyptian god, and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is the merging of all three. Definitely more powerful than Actologia. Who do you think will be the next Wizard King? So Leona I thought would be it, but it doesn't fit her personality. I think Fuego Leon will be the next Wizard King, because of just that leadership kind of personality he gives off. How's it going with Mahima and Pandora? I started Pandora Hearts. I'm only a couple chapters in still. I was reading Blue Exorcist. I really liked the themes and the designs in Pandora Hearts. I like the weird like trippy folktale characters like all the like Alice in Wonderland, and then the obvious Dodo, the mighty Dodo, the dimensional Dodo. I'll get to it. Don't worry. It's the fact I haven't forgotten, and it's still on my list. I've been slowly getting to it. I keep getting distracted with other series. Like I started reading Blue Exorcist. One of my friends, well, my friend that wanted me to read Attack on Titan, has been like, he's been ignoring me lately because he's really salty that he's been real salty that I said I liked Tokyo Ghoul because he got me to read Tokyo Ghoul and then he wanted me to read Attack on Titan and then I said I liked Tokyo Ghoul more and he got really salty and he hasn't been talking to me as much lately. But he's still my boy. He'll get over it. I'll get caught up and then he'll forgive me. Do you think that we'll have before we get full demon forms acid? It'll be a while. Well, because he can barely hold his anti-magic form now. He's got to. I want him to be able to stay in the one horned, one wing, like for a long time before we get anything close to a full form attempt. Monster and Gray are still gay. No, they are not. Why is Black Clover so much better than Yu-Gi-Oh? It is not. Full demon ass will be OP. Yep. Fuego Leon will be better candidate. Yep. The Wizard King. Yeah, here you go. You can check out Vash D's Discord. I'm almost caught up. We'll have our DBZ battle. If you want, I'll do this right after this stream. I told you. Just tell me when is the time and the place for you, and we'll do it. How strong do you think Colonel Jaguar from Eden Zero will be? I think he's gonna be like, Colonel isn't. I think Colonel is 05 or 06. So I think he's gonna be around Erasion says Galactica. Well, no, I don't think he's gonna be that strong because they're probably like big deals, like in comparison. Because assuming with Colonel, so they're gonna be using general military ranks. Because I think they have, I think Justice is a lieutenant, which means they're gonna have generals and not admirals. Noelle should have been there and been in her armor form. Yeah, Noelle would be pretty cool. I think I wonder how long she's gonna be able to hold that in real time. I'm gonna read Black Clover manga after the anime tournament is over. Yeah, good. The anime, I'm I'm hoping the anime gets a couple of specific scenes really done well. I'm making a Jump Force fanfic to change the story into a better one. I mean, it would be hard. Well, August devastated after losing Seraph, but at least still have Brandish. I mean, I guess, yeah, but I think after losing Seraph, like he would just kind of fall apart. I think he wouldn't know what to do after that. I'm almost caught up. Have you checked the Black Torch? Yeah, I'm 2 volumes into Black Torch, but I heard it ended. I heard it just kind of abruptly ended, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. Best dragon in the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Oh, it's probably Slifer. Slifer is so nice to look at. Versus the Demon Sword Hunter Satsuki. Yeah, I'm trying to remember Demon Sword. I have to double check on that. So you're gonna be the Insect King story of yours. I'm very interested in that. Eventually, I haven't been working on it a lot recently. I've been working on a different one, but I don't have any like actual story. I have like rough ideas written down. I don't have like any real constructive webbing of like a story. Well, I have the idea like overall, but not of like anything that would be looked at other than like a rough draft. Fun stream, yeah. You don't forget to join Discord. Got it. Yeah. Sammy's. You also got to check out Sammy's channel and stream. We got to get him out of that storage unit. I think after the Stark and Black Clover side can make good bodies for all this. Yes, she could do something because the elves and the humans are gonna have to band together now. They're gonna have to get along because now they know that all this stuff that they hated each other for is a bunch of bullshit, and they now can they're gonna have to put their differences aside to deal with the demons. Which arc would you like to see after this current arc? I want to see something with the Diamond Kingdom. Yeah, I want to see the Diamond Kingdom. I want to see what Mars is doing. What if and asked of new fuse? That'd be weird. If they fused the fuck. I don't know. It'd be really weird if they fused together somehow. I'm caught up. I'm caught up with the comments. You can't make fun of me for being a slow reader right now. It's not that I'm a slow reader. It's when I answer a question, I think about it like heavily, and I wanna give like a real opinion and real statement instead of just talking about like real quick and then moving on. Because like even like earlier we are talking about Ignia, and I was like giving my full opinion of how I think like how I take that how he's gonna interact with Natsu, and it's gonna be really um, it's really gonna give a lot to his character. I want that a lot. Let me see. Who wins between Nomura and Satsuki? I don't know. We haven't seen the full extent of Tomora's because she can. How many sword forms does she have? Six. Six. It's either 6 or 8, and then she's had like the long sword and she's had like the speeder, the 2 short swords for speed. I'm gonna hold that off until I figure out more, until we at least know what her full power is. I'd say. What do I think of Ignia challenging Natsu? Like I said, I really liked it. I like his personality. I like he's got that aspect that I really liked about Grimjow, but he's powerful enough that he doesn't have to worry about anyone like stopping him. And it's literally he's just like I'm going to burn. Like I'm gonna help you, but in the same aspect, I'm gonna force you to do what I want because if you don't, everyone here is gonna burn to death, and then I want you to get a taste of how powerful you can become, so I can see it, and then hopefully you eventually get stronger where we can fight to the death. And it's like this dude is fucking crazy. He's like he's not insane, but he comes off as this like adrenaline junkie with no rules, and I think that's kind of cool about him. Too many shonen to look at and read. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I would recommend getting to a lot of the shorter stuff first. Anything short that is still ongoing, get to that, and then that way it's a lot easier than like tackling One Piece or Naruto or anything that it's gonna take you fucking forever. So in between, yeah, reread that. Yeah, I'm sad about Black Torch getting canceled. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that. It was a real shame. You think Igneel full power could be Eknal? No, I don't. Because Igneel already knew he already had an idea that how powerful Acnologia was, and he didn't believe that he was strong enough to beat him. And then when he fought Acnologia in Tartarus, he said that he was even stronger than he thought. So I think he's definitely stronger.
Space slashing. So, I think Yami would win Andres just because he has such a larger variety of just how not his abilities overall, but how they combo together. And it's like he drops that black hole, sucks up any attacks at the same time. He can combo a shield into a ranged attack while hindering vision on his opponent. His attacks really work well with each other. And caught up, but then you get 5. Yeah, this is actually the most active my comments have been in a stream. Like it's thick. Like usually I can keep up pretty well, but you guys like hammered me with comments this week, and I thought that was pretty good. I like it. I like talking to you guys. I like discussing stuff. Like I say sometimes in my videos, and I usually bring it up. I don't think I need to bring it up, but I like to bring it up because I want to make sure people know. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me at all. Like I try and be very honest. I don't want to come off as anybody who's just like saying stuff, to go with the trend to get views. But I like to keep it enough to where you guys can get an honest. Even if you don't agree with me, you're getting my honest opinion. So you know that if I say something, that what I say is legitimate. So you don't think I'm just on some voice where I'm just in it to try and pull in subs and views. I like to chat with people. It's fun. I have a good time. I had a good time talking to you. Oh God! Right when as I was saying that, going off on that, you guys started commenting a bunch. But luckily, I got right at the end. What if Acme comes back? I don't know. I don't want to. I have a theory that if Hiroshima made it so like Rave Master, Fairy Tail, and Eden Zero were all in the same universe, that Acnologia was the chronophage, that because he died, his soul died in a gap between time where he crumbled, and like, what if he merged with it, and that's why he's this big dragon-looking creature that hungers for time, because he became pretty much a time dragon inside the ravines of time, and just kind of combine like all those things uniting. It would make sense if he worked it towards that, is what I'm saying. Probably a lot of swordsman Ryami's from. Yeah, because that's why he has a katana. Like that's where he definitely was kind of like looking towards. I think he's Japan when they go there. I think it's gonna be really cool. That's something that happens in Seven Deadly Sins, as they have Nanashi, who's the samurai from the land of the rising sun, but they don't do anything with him. His character is pointless, and that has really bothered me. But Yami has like a little bit of that same existence to him, and we'll get there eventually. He's a much bigger character, so it's much more likely. Chicken say John Cena. Natsu might not accept Ignea's offer. He's got to. He has to, because all those people are gonna burn. Natsu. So if it wasn't for the fact that the fires are gonna burn people out, he might say like, I'm not gonna do it. I have no reason to listen to you. But the fact that it was an ultimatum of either he's gonna do it or these people are all gonna burn. I think Natsu will do it because Natsu he's stubborn, but he's not gonna risk people dying like that because of him. I don't think he'll do that. It doesn't seem like what he'll do. Well, I don't think Gray could freeze those. Those aren't even close to like Atlas Flames fire isn't even close to Igneous Flames. Let me see Asta, and Patri versus Demon. Yeah, that'd be cool. I want to see some team ups, and maybe this could be the start to them mending the sides between the humans and the elves. That's a great melee combo is running smoothly. Yeah, I like keeping up with it and chatting with everyone. Do you think Asta could get a different weapon set sword? I don't think so. I think he's gonna keep a sword because just because in a lot of ways I think Tabata, because he's a huge fan of Berserk. I think he kind of keeps that whole sword theme with a lot of the big characters in Berserk and is carrying it over into Black Clover. And then it opened to and other characters can use different weapons like an axe or a mace. Conversations are the best. Oh wait, hang on, I gotta scroll up. I almost missed JK Networks. I saw the slight edge of it. Agile and Jacob versus all the Magic Knight Captains. Depends. It depends on whether or not if Jacob is invisible beforehand, then they're gonna win because the key sensing. I don't think it would work against his style of stealth magic, and obviously all it takes him to clap, and then bam, he's trapped him in a pocket dimension. And it's Yami. It's a little bit different than Yami like cutting out of the one at the water temple, because it was like a spatial layer versus literally being in a different like he can cut it. He would have to do it a lot of times, and the connection point would have to be there. Like if when Jacob looked in to see that Brandish and Marin were in there, like that, where there's a visible exit point where he just has to cut through it. All right, let me scroll down and hope that I don't skip over stuff. Do you think we'll see more training in these recent shows, or even play off-screen training? Depends. Depends on the shonen. Some people like training arcs. Some people understand what makes them interesting. Like Kimetsu no Yaiba early on, there's a lot of the first couple chapters are Tanjiro training, and um, I think the author handled it really well. Rakusaji the last Sayuki. I read the first one. I haven't read the second one yet. I haven't pulled up, but I'm gonna read it. It's interesting. It's not like, man, I really want to keep reading this. It's got my attention. It's got an interesting enough plot right now. I'm just very curious of where it's gonna go because it doesn't open up a lot of idea of what the overall series were gonna be like. I'm guessing. I think it'll be like the main character is gonna need to learn how to fight and do stuff. Otherwise, like, what is he gonna do whenever these monsters show up? Let's see. Given his hype, you see Shiki losing to Draken Joe in the first fight. Yep. I think he's going to get steamrolled. Natsu does not have a chance against the Water Dragon God without it. Yeah, I mean, I can see Natsu saying, like, no, I don't need your power up. I'm going to defeat him by myself or with, my crew. But the fact that Ignia made it so it's either he does it or the city and the people burn, I think he's going to do it. Acnologia versus Ignia. Yeah, I'm wondering. Well, it's all going to depend on how Igneous sees things and why they didn't really bother with Acnologia. I think the dragons didn't really care, and then maybe at the point where it was too late, because we know in Future Rogue's timeline that Acnologia conquered the planet. I think maybe at that point he has the space between time power up, and at that point he was too much for the dragon gods to take. Makoto does have that child that Yami would have to dance around the child always defend human. Yeah, it's the fact that Yami's abilities all kind of link into each other. Like he's got one of the best synergies of powers in Black Clover. Just the way that his abilities kind of all combo well into one another. I think makes him. It's one of the thing. It's the thing I think that makes him as powerful as he was even before he got Dimension Slash. It's funny to realize that Patri is being walked through the Garden of Patrol. Yeah, I'm curious to know when we're gonna get this demon's name. I think Asta will be taken over by the Grimoire demon. I think he's gonna get taken over soon because I really want to see a conversation between the five-leaf Grimoire demon and this guy. Right when I catch up, you guys got so many comments, and I always thought no, I don't think full power Igneel could defeat Acnologia because just the fact that if that was the case, then he would have just went and fought him, and he had all these other dragons. It's Acnologia. Like I think the only reason Acnologia really lost an arm against Igneel was the fact that he was underestimating him heavily, and then that was kind of his downside. Is you underestimate a dude enough, and he's gonna eventually find that opening. If Urza was in Black Clover, do you see her joining a squad? Or she would lead her own. Urza would definitely know. That's because that's one of Urza's. Urza has two things about her that are really she exceeds in. I know a lot of people like to call her Mary Sue, which is not true, because she's good at combat and she's good at being an authoritative figure. Those are Urza's two things she excels in, and I think she would do really well leading a Night Order. Well, because she definitely was fine, leading Fairy Tail even if for a short time, even though it was, she was very flattered by it. But I didn't think she would definitely definitely make her own Night Order. Let's see, where was I at? Shiki or Natsu is stronger. Natsu's way stronger than Shiki. What kind of upgrades do you see Wise getting in the future? I would just like to see. I think he's just got to carry more machines around, or like figure out. I think an upgrade for him it would be maybe to like reprogramming machines. I don't know because this is very strange, and it doesn't feel like it needs as much of an upgrade, and it's all going to depend entirely on what tech he has on him or around him or what he can find. Do you think we'll get a super form in the form of an angel, demon, or dragon? Yeah, wait. Do you think a super form would I have a super form in the form of an angel? I would go dragon. Dragons. I've always thought dragons are really cool, and I don't know. I guess it would really depend on what art style. I mean, is it in general, or is it from it like Black Clover or Fairy Tale or what? Because I guess it would also depend on what the art style of that world is, maybe. Because like the dragons in Fairy Tale are awesome, but they're well, their demons are cool, and they don't really have angels. But then if you look at something like Seven Deadly Sins, where they have really cool demons, but their dragons look kind of lame. Shadow's basically Urza. I don't think so. I mean, she has that kind of older sisterly feel to it, but she doesn't have a similar personality. She doesn't have a similar backstory. It's I can kind of see what you mean, but not entirely. If Shiki fought Shuda and Rave Master instead of Haru, how much difficulty do you think you would have? Um, assuming it's in that same arc, I think Shuda. I think he would have a worse time. Because the thing about Shuda is with that, I don't remember what was it called, like Blaze Ballet, where he could set an area and then detonate it. I think that would be really bad for Shiki, specifically because he's based around Shiki. Like Shiki's biggest thing is the fact that because anti-gravity, he's got flight, he can run along walls and up ceilings. He's very mobile, and if you take that away from him, I think that drastically is going to make him weaker. And that's what the case was for what Shuda's ability had. I think that was very much more detrimental to him than either. Well, not so obviously fire. It's not going to do much to him, but I'm talking about just like fighting style in general. I think that would really hinder Shiki. Uh, what do you think we'll meet other vice captains of their squads? I don't know because we still haven't met the vice captain of the Black Bulls. I remember Tabata mentioned it in an interview or one of the volumes that we still haven't met him. I mean, it's possible. Yami versus Gildarts, Gildarts. Yami is Yami's got Dimension Slash, but Gildarts is all around way more powerful, and he can crash any of his magic. The only thing you would really have to worry about is Dimension Slash. Sound like you're getting tired? No, I am. I mean, it's not like tired, like oh god, I wish they would stop commenting. It's just like every time I think I catch up, you guys got like another 30 comments, and I get slightly frustrated, but it's like, damn it, it's only frustrating because they're being very interactive and talking. It's like a good thing. It's like my cat. She'll come by and she'll like try and play with me and she'll bite my feet and then sometimes like one of her claws will hook in like a soft spot on my toe or like get under my toenail and I get mad, but I know she's only doing it because she wants to play with me and she likes me. And then it's like I can't be mad at her like that. Like I can't be mad at something that's only frustrating because it's a good thing. Like it just doesn't work like that. Gildart would kill Yami. I'd be mad if the Diamond Kingdom arc doesn't happen. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like a deep, like it could only be like 20, 25 chapters. But I'd like to see it because I want to see what the other kingdoms are like. I want to see what exactly these characters are up to and what they're doing. I mean, with the character power-wise progression, we could get over there now, and it wouldn't need to have like a captain with them. It could really just be a lot of the younger people going out. I really hope it doesn't get forgotten. I doubt it gets forgotten because Tabata seems like he knows, or Tabata. It seems like Tabata has planned a lot of these things in advance. And it's not as much as like, because a lot of the when you look at a lot of the big mangas, a lot of them you can tell like the authors weren't expecting them to blow up and get as popular as they did. I think Tabata, after Hungry Joker got canceled, that when he made Black Clover, he was way more prepared and he was just like all in or nothing. Like I'm gonna go for the distance, or it's just gonna end with all these different open areas. Let's leave for dinner. We'll be back. Yeah, all right. I hope you have a nice meal, Andres. Angels and Black Clover. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll get angels. Angels or cherubs or something. How many chapters of 70 Sins do you think left before this? Oh, uh, Nakaba said it was going to be over this year, so definitely not that much longer. Probably sometime during the summer. So I think maybe only 20, 25 chapters, maybe less. There's not a lot left to do. There's not a lot left to do because after they beat because once they beat the Demon King, it's like what is he gonna do? Because they are the Supreme Goddess. She's not gonna be a threat. They've already fixed Meliodas. They're gonna eventually unlock his super secret special for real this time power that he pulled out of nowhere and then just ripped off one of the Demon King's arms. Like, what is the Supreme Goddess gonna do? Nothing. They can't really. They're not gonna be able to pull out anything. I think after this to really matter. Hmm. Do I think Julius is Brigand here? Yeah. I well, Julius I think he has the capabilities to be. I think if he yeah, I think he would be somewhere around Spriggan level if he was in Fairy Tail. Because he's got that light speed, he's got time manipulation. I think the thing that would really hinder him is the fact that I think his power source. I think he would have the smallest energy, or I guess magic amount. So he could do a lot of stuff like is in Black Clover, like stretching the chrono antistasis. It was like 50 miles was huge in his world. I mean that's still gonna be impressive in Fairy Tail, but it's not gonna that isn't gonna be impressive Spriggan here. But his hacks would be. I think he would be in it, but I don't think he'd be like up there with August. Canon Broly versus Jared versus Android 21. Broly would win. Oh, where was I? Yep. Let me just keep scrolling. I think Julius is close. I don't think Julius could take Zeref, not even close. Or do you think Lady will haven't eaten Zero? I don't know. I don't know what she's really gonna do. So it doesn't look like she can fight, and then for some reason she's got like metal legs in the series. Kind of curious of how that's gonna go. I think we'll get to see more broken types of magic in other kingdoms. Yeah, I would like to work back towards some more grounded magic because we've gotten so many unfair ones recently. And then here's this demon who's got reality warping magic. Sanji versus Devil Star Gray. Gray would murder Sanji. That's not even a fight. He would ice him up and then just shatter him. Sanji hasn't gotten shit. Like, what would Sanji's raid suit even do? It's like, okay, I can turn invisible. And Gray's like, okay, drop Silver World and then just ice the whole place. What do you think of Devil May Cry 5? I haven't played Devil May Cry. One of my friends recently, she really wants me to check out Devil May Cry, so maybe eventually I'll get into it. Obviously, the song that everyone's heard is amazing. Morris, the guy who experimented Mars and Fauna, hinted. Yeah, isn't he like the lead guy in the Diamond Kingdom? That'd be really cool to see if he ever gets there. Do you think its time magic would affect Tamari if they fought? No, I don't. Julius, I mean, yeah, I don't think time magic would affect her because time magic wouldn't affect Demaria. It wouldn't. It probably wouldn't affect Larcade. It probably wouldn't affect Irene, and it would not affect August. Oh, when the Dragon Gods turn out to be Acnologia's teacher. That'd be cool. That'd actually be really interesting. But then that'd be like, well, why didn't Acnologia, or why didn't he stop Acnologia? Because the thing about the Dragon Gods is we have to know why they didn't really mess with Acnologia. Obviously, they're not gonna know what he's doing 24/7 because he's just like goes around the world. But it has to be enough that we know he's not really messing with them. Like Mercfovia was bad until recently, and now he's just kind of like does his own thing. And it looks like he stays adjacent to a set area and then just doesn't really bother messing with other people. And I'm guessing if Acnologia showed up there, he would have been like, "Fuck off, get out of my area." I don't know. I don't know. I think Acnologia. Well, I feel like one of his first kills, if not his first kill, would be his the dragon who taught him dragon slaying magic, or how exactly he's going to have. Because it'd be really curious. I'm really curious to know what a dragon that he learned it from would be like, because he's just a magic dragon. So, would we see any raw magic dragons in the series? Would a raw magic dragon be some kind of like ancient elder dragon or something? And it would have to hold something of significance if there is just a raw magic dragon. I don't know. That one's kind of confusing when you think about it. How do you feel about time travel in Black Clover? I don't know. I don't know if I'd like time travel because I don't want anything to affect what's going on. And time travel, it would depend on how they introduce the time travel. Because I like well, Rave Master had much more of a traditional time travel, and Fairy Tales was much more like the fact that if you do enough alterations of a timeline, sorry, of a timeline, like it doesn't time paradox out of it. It stays that way because it's like too scarred to kind of mend itself like that. Like when the dragons, because they destroyed the gate, and it's like okay, well they're gonna time paradox it because they could have never came back, and then it was like no, well that it's just gonna be like its own separate timeline, and it was like connecting time points. It was weird, but it really depends on what kind of time travel it does, because time travel can become a very annoying aspect to a series if it's not centered around time travel. I feel like time travel is a very easy potential of ruining stories. Asta versus Acnologia. Acnologia would just flick him and he'd die. He wouldn't. I mean, like he can. The thing though with Asta is Asta's swords can cut the magic, but his body will still get horribly maimed and damaged if he gets even touched by it. Like he would probably try to cut Acnologia's roar, and then it would just kind of like there'd be that slash point, and then it would just reform and then like tear apart his body and kill him. Do you think the other kingdoms of the Black Clover Kingdom will attack the Clover Kingdom after hearing the Julius' death and get another ward? I feel like they would think about it and they'd be like, "Oh, Julius is dead, perfect," and then they'd be like, "How did he die?" And like, "Well, the elves returned, and then a demon came out of the Shadow Palace, and now humans are being slaughtered in their country, and it's led by these creatures that now want to end humanity or something." And you just be like, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go to a different continent. Is there anywhere that isn't populated by humans? We need to leave. Like that just sounds like you just be like you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna take vacation tomorrow, and then it's just like, well, when are you coming back? I don't know. I'm out. I'm getting out of here. It just doesn't feel like you'd want to stay at that point. Like it'd just be like that happy moment. Fucking God, I can only just imagine that the smile shattering moment of those people when they hear about why exactly that Julius is dead, and it's like, well, let's leave. Do you think that we'll find out more about the sea god and the water temple? I don't know. I feel like that's going to be more of a like just religious figure, not an actual one. I don't know though. Maybe they're referring to the great water spirit. Sylph and Salamander's water partner. Since Hades wanted to kill all non-magic users of Fairy Tail, if he lives in Black Clover where everyone except Asta has magic, I think he'd just be like, oh, okay. Well, he wanted it. He saw it as more of like the vision for Zareth and just making a better world. So I mean, like, I'd be curious if he would accept that without Zareth. But I'm thinking maybe he only saw Zareth as the point because he wanted to connect that world. Hmm. Let's see. Not to beat Asta and Akalogia and rips the arm off. Yeah, that's too powerful. I still think that Endless is still the most powerful. Wait, I still think that Endless is still the most powerful dragon that hero ever introduced. No, Acnologia would eat the Endless. Acnologia would consume him. He would just absorb him and then become the Endless Dragon Slayer. Memories. All right, man. I'll see you later. Good stream. Yeah. Glad to have you here. I do these streams on Sundays. I try to do this every week. If you haven't yet, subscribe, thumbs up the video. I appreciate people who show up. I'll stream for a little bit longer. I want to take my cat out before it gets dark. What's your opinion on Jump Force? The story is Oh, the story. I don't care. Oh, the thing about Jump Force is I didn't really care about the story. I just wanted to play as different characters fighting. I just looked at it for the fighting aspect. I don't know why they needed a storyline. I don't know why they just didn't take all that time that they put into making a storyline, making cutscenes, and making customizable characters, and just didn't add more characters. I feel like that would have been a much better idea. But who the hell am I? Who am I to question all these big corporate folks? Zeref is my favorite character in Fairy Tail. Zeref is awesome. I love Zeref. Brandish versus the Clover Kingdom. I think she would beat everybody but Julius. I think because she could just snap her fingers. If she could land her spell on Julius before he does anything, then she would win. But I feel like Julius is too fast for her. Well, he is too fast for her, but he's also very nice. And I guess it would really depend because he probably hasn't seen any magic like hers. Because the fact that she could snap and then like make his insides grow and then pop him like a berry. Also my favorite. And yeah, I really like Zeref. Do you think the next Chainsaw Man arc will be the longest arc thus far? Well, yeah, it would have to because it's only 13 chapters, and like the longest one we've had is like 5. Of course, Noel versus Lucy. Lucy would body Noel. How do you see Kaido being beaten? I think they're gonna have a bunch of people team up on him, and then because the Sea Stone is the Sea Stone is from Wano, right? So I'm wondering if that's gonna be relevant in beating him at all, and maybe Luffy gets like a Sea Stone. I don't. I'm curious to know. Maybe like a raw Sea Stone mine, and just like knocks him into it, and then like cancels out his powers. Then if they lock him in, maybe. And then it's kind of like the fact that all of the red scabbard people and all those guys were locked in a prison, and now Kaido is locked in a prison. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm a little curious as well. Speaking of length, I think Draken Joe arc might be 20 or yeah. I'd like a lengthy chapter for Eden Zero. I definitely want a lengthy one. I want a more payout arc where it feels much more like a because everything right now still feels like we're it feels like we're getting out of the introductory period and we're getting more into like actual manga, like, larger scale manga arcs. Because like Fairy Tail up until all the way through Galuna Island, it felt more like it was still introductory, and then we got the Phantom Lord arc. One second. I'm messaging somebody because I was talking to somebody about that Chainsaw Man, the Chainsaw Man chapter, and they talked about how everything kind of stemmed up when they're like, let's get rid of gun violence. So we're gonna do a cash initiative to get a bunch of guns, and then all that really did was piss off a lot of people, and then it made it because all the law-abiding citizens then didn't have guns, and the people who were already criminals just kept their guns, and then it led up that, and that happened. I think that happened in Australia. Not the like they had more violent crimes, but they had less gun crimes. From what I recall, I've looked at a study for it. But I thought that was kind of cool. He incorporated that into Chainsaw Man. 1 second, I guess I gotta type something. One second. Almost done. All right. I don't know. What do you guys have left to really want to talk about? We're using stream for like what an hour and a half. I want to wrap it up soon, and maybe get a couple of videos ready. Gildas versus Shanks. Gildarts. Because Shanks hasn't really done much, and Gildarts, the thing I think Gildarts definitely has on him for sure is his crash magic, because I doubt Shanks is going to have any hacks, he's going to have any unfair powers, and though Gildarts is mostly powerhouse, like style fighting, when, he's got his crash energy attacks, but his disassembly magic, I think, is still a big threat for Shanks. I think it's a meme Luffy versus Senton, which shows Luffy getting bodied by Kaido. The one punch Kaido. Well, one club Kaido. If you had one club ban, I think Shanks will show up soon. One Piece. I'm curious to know if he's gonna show up in Wano, because I feel like he's gonna show up in because I feel like it's Wano and then the final war, and then it's gonna be like the Battle of Raftel of Luffy's crew versus Shanks's crew. That's my guess, because I think it'd be weird for Luffy to fight Shanks in the final war, but it would be weird for the series not to have the Straw Hats fight the Red Hair Pirates. Let me see. Where was I? I hope we can learn about Henry's royal heritage. Yeah, I like Henry. I think he's interesting for somebody still pretty new. Do you think the concept of taking someone's magic away will come back in Black Clover? Yeah, I think that I still have a theory that that might relate to why Asta doesn't have magic. I think Elsie is the Blackbeard of Eden Zero. She's evil. Yeah. I would hope that if that's the case, then she gets more screen time and like existence than Blackbeard. Because I talked to somebody about this yesterday. Like, we both agreed, even though we weren't real One Piece guys, we both liked Blackbeard, but he hasn't done like anything in forever. What is the current Asta and Black Bulls fought Hades group? The rest of the ship very. I think that there's no way they can take them. I mean, they still have. I think they would put up a fight, but some of the members of Grimoire Heart are too crazy for them. Like the fact that Meredy can just kill two of them right off the bat by linking, because she can just link to herself to two of them and then kill herself, and then bam, you just knocked out two of their members. You got Ultir, who could pretty much render all of them useless except for Asta. Like a lot of them are too much. And then you drop like a Matarasu 100, and pretty much everyone's done. How long do you think that? How strong do you think Nuts will be at the end of the 100 Years quest? Depends if this is the actual end of the series. Because I'm wondering if it's going to be 100 Years quest and then maybe Fairy Tail and then another title, like another sequel continuation. Um, but if it is the very end, I think he'll end up the strongest. Ultira's female Dio. I don't know. I don't know. She's never dropped a steamroller on anybody. Gilders versus Dreyfus would be interesting. Clash versus Break. Dreyfus, I think, would get bodied as well. Well, even like because Fraudren's special commandment demon level power was he got really tall. He just became big. Everyone else had a really cool power. I don't remember what was his. I'd have to look up what was his. What did his commandment do? Let me look at it real quick. Fraudren. Fraudren Seven Deadly Sins Wiki. What was his commandment? He was Fraudren of what? I'm looking it up. I'm gonna end up looking over, and you guys, somebody typed it up long before. Selflessness. So if you have feelings of greed, you lose memories. Well, wait, if you have feelings of greed or selfish desire, that doesn't really apply to guild arts really, unless like wanting to get chicks is greedy. Thoughts on M, the true leader of the government? I don't know. I'm curious. So I'm hoping he's like the top tier and he's not just a political character. I'm hoping he's also powerful. I'm interested. I thought it was a really interesting reveal. But it was interesting, but it was kind of like it wasn't like a huge like mind break. If it turns out to be somebody that's existed in the series for a long time that just, you haven't paid attention to, but, there's a bunch of ties together that make sense or something, I'd be like, oh shit. But it's just existing. I'm like, I don't really know. All for One versus Lix. Lix would body him. He'd just move at light speed and throw a sword through his head. Where do you scale Charmy in terms of power? Charmy, I'm curious to know how long Charmy can hold in that form because it's definitely powerful. Like she because she can absorb people's magic and then convert it into straight just like physical buff. I think she's closer to captain level right now because we haven't seen a lot of what she's capable of. I mean, we had a brief bit about her fight. Zora versus Wise in a prep fight. Zora would win. In a prep fight, Zora would body him. I mean, like Zora, Wise's best prep feat is that he set up some guns. Like he's definitely smart, but we haven't seen anything like Zora's. Like Zora's got too much. Plus, he's also a master at taunting his opponents and stepping right in his traps. Wise doesn't have that to the same degree either. How strong the answer would be Ignis' power compared to Ignis? I think he's gonna be way stronger because he's gonna have to be enough to compete with a dragon god. I think I would like to see upgraded elemental types in a series of Black Clover like Blue Flame. That'd be cool. Well, we've seen some. Uh, a lot of the elf possessed people have upgraded versions. Like you had, what was it? The Randall, the guy who is like just the one I'm thinking of top end. Randall, the guy who was the vice captain. Was he vice captain of the Crimson Lions? But he went from air magic to vacuum magic, to where he could just fucking make like sick vacuum pocketed punches and kicks and stuff. I thought it was sick. Saitama versus Xander in Black Clover Universe. Saitama would get turned to dust by Julius. He'd just get aged. Like Saitama's powerful, but as long as he's still a human by age, so he's gonna only live for X amount of years, and Julius would just age him into dust. What do you think Rebecca's Ether will be? I've been thinking about that. I'm still not really too sure. I'm kind of hoping. I'm gonna hold off on it until we find out, like, at least get a second form for Happy's guns. Zora and Asta would be best friends. I think Zora would be like kind of indifferent, but Asta would be like really happy to like hang out with him. Kagura versus Samura. Kagura. Well, Kagura right now. Homura maybe in the future because she hasn't done much. Kiria versus Yami. Kiria would win because she would hypnotize him and then he would become weaker. And plus, so I'm wondering if she'd be able to eat his shadow blades. Zeref and Ekloy versus Kaguya. Zeref, I think Zeref would sit out and then Aknologi would seduce Kaguya, and Kaguya would be utterly defeated by his manliness and sick hair. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I really appreciate you guys for coming. We'll do this again next week. Like I said, usually same time every week on Sundays. I got my videos recorded and ready. What really quick before I go, which of the Shonen Jump chapters reviews do you guys want to see the most? I think I did like My Hero Academia, One Piece, Hell Warden, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kimetsu no Yaiba. I got all those. Which one of those you get? Which for those left, which one you guys would like to see the most? I'm hoping Chainsaw Man. Well, I did no. I mean, like the reviews. I already did I did my fairy tale one. I'll probably just put out Chainsaw Man if everyone's gone before long. No one gives anything. I'll just go Chainsaw Man. I'm definitely excited to see where things go in this for sure. Yeah, Chainsaw Man. Either way, yeah. Thanks you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Appreciate everyone for showing up, commenting, and chatting. So until then, till next week. See ya.